Hi everyone, it's Flora. Welcome back to my channel. Today I will be doing another review of Fruits Basket Season 2. We are now officially at the beach arc in episode 6, one of my favorite arcs of the entire series. I care about it a lot and I have faith that the anime will do a really good job, but it is interesting to see the differences between the manga and the anime because I noticed in this episode that they combined 3 chapters, chapter 53, 54, and 55, which I didn't expect. I originally thought they would only do chapter 53, and then after seeing some preview pictures, I thought, oh, are they really combining 3 chapters? It's kind of a lot of content. I hope it's not rushed. But I thought that overall the episode was really good. Like, it flowed well. I didn't feel rushed. I thought they did a great job. So it's really cool to see how the anime changes the plot and rearranges things, but still stays true to the manga. So first I'm going to start with a quick summary of each of the chapters, 53, 54, and 55, and then I will go through the episode and compare it to the manga. Just to let you all know, most of the content is the same in the anime, but there are a few scenes in the manga that did not show up in the episode, so letting you all know now, there is some manga content that will be new, but I don't think it's necessarily spoilerish because we've already passed the content in the anime. Alright, let's get started. Overall, I really enjoyed this episode. It did a fantastic job at condensing content while also staying true to the manga. This episode is the start of a very important arc in the series, and after all of the build-up in this episode, I'm so excited to see how the rest of this arc pans out. Just like episode 5, episode 6 had a great balance of genuinely fun moments while also allowing some serious ones. Having moments like these for the characters really shows how dynamic their development is. Once again, I am blown away with this series and I can't wait for more. Okay, now for the chapter summaries. Chapter 53 begins with Momiji visiting Shigure's house and surprising everyone by saying that he rented a summer home for them all to vacation to. Everyone agrees and will be leaving the next day, but Toru needs to finish her homework first. Yuki offers to help her, and Momiji goes to ask Kyo if he would like to join them on the trip. Kyo agrees, and Momiji notices that he's gotten nicer. While Yuki and Toru are alone, Yuki notices Toru's hat and asks where it came from. He listens to her story about a boy that helped her when she was little, and she says that she kept the hat because it was a precious memory. Before Yuki can respond, debris suddenly shatters the bedroom window. Momiji and Kyo run in to check on them, and Kyo notices Toru holding the hat. Yuki begins helping with the window, and Kyo glares at his back. While everyone else is upstairs, Shigure opens the front door to see Rin standing there, asking him if he knows why she's there. He replies saying he doesn't know if he can live up to her expectations, and asks if her foolishness is part of her plan. The last scene is of Yuki glancing at Toru, and it is revealed that he is, in fact, the hat boy from her story. Chapter 54 starts off with Toru, Yuki, Kyo, Haru, and Momiji all at the summer home. They're all having fun at the beach. Kyo goes in the water to help Toru swim, and Momiji tells them that he also invited Kisa, Hiro, Kagura, Ritsu, Ayame, and Hattori to stay at the summer home. When a bad memory of Akito suddenly hits Yuki, Haru asks if he's okay, and Yuki says that he's fine and that he doesn't want to make Toru worry. It cuts to Kisa and Hiro reading Momiji's invitation, and they both decide to join. Hiro notices Rin walking through the Soma estate, and then it shifts to a scene with Shigure and Akito, where Shigure asks if Akito will join him at the summer home. Back at the summer home, Yuki is lying down on the couch due to a fever. While everyone else is away, Yuki pulls Toru's hair to get her attention. He says that there is something important he wants to tell her someday, and that he has to open the tightly closed lid. The phrase makes Toru become lost in thought, and she thinks of her mother. The chapter ends with Kyo alone in his room, and everyone else making plans for the next day. Chapter 55 begins with Kisa and Hiro arriving at the summer home, and while they all decide on who is staying in what room, Haru tells Hiro to tone it down with the jealous attitude. Kisa apologizes to Toru about Hiro, then sees a picture of Kyoko in their room. Toru tells her that she always keeps a photo of her mom with her because they are always together. Later that day, Toru, Momiji, Hiro, and Kisa are out looking for stag beetles, and when Toru drops her photo wallet, Hiro picks it up and asks why it only has her mom in it. He tells her that she has a severe mother complex and asks if she ever thinks about anything else. Toru is suddenly speechless and walks away. Kisa, now upset with Hiro, tells him that he shouldn't say things like that to Toru. She says that he can't know what Toru is really feeling, and asks why he even came on the trip. Hiro feels bad about what he said and reflects on it all. That night, while everyone is asleep, Toru sits alone outside with a picture of her mom. She is hit with a memory of her mother as a child, as well as after her death, and gets emotional. She repeats, "It's alright, we're always together," while looking down sadly. The next morning, Kisa goes to Hiro's room and they both apologize for how they spoke to each other the day before. Toru, Momiji, Kisa, and Hiro all go out to look for stag beetles again, and Hiro notices that Toru seems extra cheerful. They run into Kyo, who, after talking to Toru, confronts Hiro and asks if he said anything to Toru. Hiro asks why he's being accused, and Kyo says that she doesn't seem as happy. Hiro reflects again, thinking that, just like him, Toru must also have feelings she hasn't shared with anyone deep in her heart. Episode 6 starts off with the beginning of chapter 53, with Momiji visiting to tell them about the summer home. This scene is done wonderfully, and is mostly followed to a T, with some minor changes. Originally, Momiji doesn't tell them the other people he invited until they're already at the summer home, but in the anime he announces it here. I like how the anime adapts the content to modernize the series. For example, the anime cuts to Hiro and Kisa immediately reading Momiji's text, and they decide to join them the same day. In the manga, Momiji sends letters, and this scene doesn't happen until chapter 54, when Toru and Momiji are already at the summer home. After this, it continues chapter 53 content where Yuki helps Toru with her summer homework. This part, along with Momiji and Kyo's, follows the manga exactly, and I loved it. I like the shots here while Yuki is listening to Toru's story, and the scene between Momiji and Kyo is honestly one of my favorites of them in the series. Kyo's reaction to Momiji is much calmer and kinder than it would have been in the beginning of the series, and it's great to see Kyo maturing and the other characters recognizing his growth. The anime starts to change at the end of the hat story. In the manga, instead of Momiji coming in and interrupting Yuki, something breaks the window in Toru's room. Overall, I think it's okay that the anime changed this, but I do miss some little details that the manga had. For example, Kyo walks into Toru's room and sees her holding the hat. The face that he gives Yuki implies that he knows about this story, possibly more than what he overheard back when Hanajima and Otani spent the night in season 1. I feel like this moment is important for the hat subplot, but the anime doesn't show this detail, so maybe they'll incorporate it later. After this scene in the manga is when Rin sees Shigure, and then it cuts to everyone fixing the window, and this is when it's revealed that Yuki is the hat boy. Instead of this content, the anime skips to the next morning, with everyone leaving except for Shigure. I did like this scene though. It was a nice transition from their house to the summer home, and I liked how the anime gave this moment the opportunity for Rin to suddenly appear. I thought it was very smooth, and that her scene was done really well. The dialogue follows the manga exactly, and the music adds to the mysterious atmosphere. The anime added another shot of Rin leaning towards Shigure, and it makes the scene even more uncertain about Rin's true motives. Next, the episode moves into chapter 54 content with everyone at the beach. This scene is basically the same in the manga, with the same dialogue, except in the anime, Kisa and Hiro are already there, and they have a few lines. I love seeing this scene animated and everyone just having a genuine good time. The fact that Gyo remembered what Toru said about her swimming back in episode 2 and immediately knew what was happening just shows how attentive he is to her. I'm glad that Toru has such good people in her life now and that she can spend this summer making fun memories with each other. Another small difference in this scene is when Yuki starts remembering Akito. In the manga, there is also a panel of Yuki in the hat, implying that these two childhood memories are somehow related. That was one thing I liked about the manga revealing that he's the hat boy before the beach arc. It allowed us to kind of process that information for a few chapters before more things start to happen. After the beach, the anime adds another transition scene of them walking across the street and back to the house. I love how the anime adds these shots. It makes everything flow nicely before moving to a new scene and setting. Kyo heading back early and going to his room alone is the same, but while they're walking back, the episode decided to add some chapter 55 content when Toru drops her pocketbook. Originally this happens on another day, but I thought it was a clever way for the anime to condense the story by having this happen here, which also helps set up more of the beach arc plot. This scene followed the manga beautifully, and although it's frustrating to see Hiro act this way, he's still a kid, and I think it was a good learning experience for him, and hopefully by reflecting on it, he'll start to be more considerate of others' feelings. This moment still hits me to this day. We've never really seen Toru make a face like that before, and I think it's really important that we got to see that side of Toru. Everyone coming back to the house is followed the same, except in the manga, Toru is also there during the scene when Yuki asks if Hiro and Kisa got into a fight. Here they go straight to bed without speaking, and they make up the next morning. In the anime, this is resolved that same evening. I like that they didn't drag out their little fight. They condensed the content well, and I'm glad that they shared this moment together. Still following chapter 55, it shifts to the scene with Toru alone outside. This is such a sad moment, but it's honestly one of my favorites of the entire series. I love how this is drawn in the manga, and I'm happy that the anime followed it so well. It's such an important scene for Toru's character. We were able to see a side of her that no one else sees, and it's clear that she has her own inner turmoil that she's dealing with, despite appearing so cheerful most of the time. The next scene is the end of chapter 55 with everyone looking for stag beetles. This scene is also followed almost exactly, but in the anime, Yuki is also present. I'm glad that they included the scene with Kyo noticing that Toru isn't as cheerful. It says a lot about how close they are, and that he notices things about her that no one else does. I just love them so much. Next, the episode goes back to chapter 54 content with Shigure visiting Akito. Overall, I think it's fine that they switched this content because honestly, this could be happening at any point before Shigure arrives at the summer home. I think the scene with Akito towards the end was a nice build-up for what's to come in the next few episodes. The last scene of the episode is the end of chapter 54, where Yuki and Toru have a cute moment. It was so great to see this animated. It was a forward move for Yuki, and it also revealed a big secret, that he is the hat boy from Toru's story. I think it makes sense that the anime put this at the end of the episode because it's a big reveal. I know I was shocked when I found out it was Yuki when I first read the manga, so this last scene definitely has an impact. From all the setting up in this episode, it's clear that things are about to go down at the summer home, and I'm so excited to see what's to come. Alright, manga comparison is now over. The rest of the video, I'm going to be talking about what I think will happen in the next few Fruits Basket episodes, so I will be talking about some content in the upcoming Fruits Basket manga chapters that have not shown up in the anime. So if this is your first time watching the anime and you don't want to be spoiled of anything that happens, I suggest you leave this video once I put in my manga spoiler warning. That's totally fine. I really appreciate it, and thank you all so much for watching. I will see you on Monday with my episode 7 reaction. Bye! Hello manga people, how we doing? We are officially here at the beach arc. It is a very exciting time for us, am I right? I feel like I'm gonna be so emotional. I thought when the beach arc started I was gonna cry because it's one of my favorite parts of the series and I'm very emotional about it. I care about it a lot. But I didn't cry. I teared up a little with the Toru scene when she can't sleep at night and she's thinking about her mom. That was pretty heavy, but going forward, I feel like I'll be pretty emotional in my reaction videos, so I apologize in advance. So like I said before, I originally thought this episode would only be chapter 53, but turns out they did 53, 54, and 55. So yeah, it's a lot to put into one episode, but I thought they did a good job and they let it flow really well. I feel like the content that they didn't put in, it's really not a huge deal in the long run. I feel like the anime does a good job just getting to the point and letting things flow nicely. So technically in the manga, the next chapters are 56 and 57, which focus on Mayu sensei, and the stuff that happens with Shigure and Hattori. This is before Shigure and Hattori come to the summer home. But from the episode 7 title, it looks like they're going to be doing chapter 58 for sure. I'm assuming that episode 7 will be chapters 58 and 59. So it's going to be the watermelon thing and then up to the shooting star with Toru and Yuki. I don't know if I'm ready for that. That chapter still gets me. I'm so not ready. None of us are ready. Are you kidding? So I have a feeling they're gonna hold off the Mayu content and maybe do it like, I don't know if they're gonna do it right after the beach arc, or they might do it in episode 8 and then continue the beach arc after that, or maybe they'll do like half episode with Mayu content and then half back to the beach. I'm not sure. So we'll have to see what happens, but yeah, I'm a little bummed that they didn't put in the scene with Kyo looking at Yuki after the glass broke in the window in Toru's room, because I feel like that says a lot in just one panel. We know the history of the hat, and when I first read the manga, I initially thought that Kyo was the hat boy, and I thought that Yuki was being angsty about the hat because he knew that Kyo was the hat boy. Turns out Yuki's the hat boy, so it explains why Kyo is angsty about Yuki being the hat boy. So yeah, I mean, there's just little things that were changed, but in the long run, I'm still really happy with this anime and I love it so much. I know I will not be emotionally ready for the Kyo content in the beach arc, like chapters 62 and 63, especially 63. Oh my goodness. It's one of my favorite parts of the entire series and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna cry. I'm not ready. We are all in this together. we'll get through it and it'll be okay. I'm just so thankful that the reboot is happening and we are now in the beach arc. It feels like a dream. I'm so happy. Let me know what you all think in the comments. Is there anything in the episode that you liked and didn't like? Did you feel like there was some content in the manga that you wished was in the episode, or do you feel like you're satisfied with the anime so far? Let me know what you all think. I'd love to talk in the comments. I really appreciate all your support so far. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing on my channel. If you do like this video and you haven't subscribed yet, please do. I would really appreciate it. I also stream on Twitch if you're interested. I stream on Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. And I have my other social media in the description below. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will be back on Monday with my episode 7 reaction. Bye!